moving on now to look at some of the lead work in the beginning of Wish You Were Here and checking out the pentatonic scale in action. So we've learned that the G major and the E minor are relatives, that they have the same pentatonic scale. The G major scale is made by playing a diatonic scale and removing the 4 and the 7, which would be the C and the F sharp in G, leaving us with G, A, B, D, and E. That has a pleasant major sound in G. In E minor, the same notes, E, G, A, B, D, and E, can function as an E minor scale, which can be used in E minor or in an E blues, which we've seen in a couple of our Hal Leonard songs. So we've seen this scale at work in songs like Amazing Grace and Will the Circle Be Unbroken, where we're playing on the open strings with the second frets, open D, E, open G, A, for instance. And we talked a little bit, just in passing last time, about extending it out into the next position. Were we soloing a lot together, what we would end up doing is playing little tunes, just improvised melodies, on the top strings of that scale. At some point when you were comfortable, and just as we're jamming, I would suggest, oh, let's get a little brighter note here, slide out 2 frets. Okay, do it on the second string as well. And on the third. I just call that the second fret rule. On the top 3 strings, we can move out 2 frets. So you'd be soloing away and come out. You can do it on either string. Once we got out there, we'd notice we could settle down and play a certain shape. I call it the pyramid. Some students laugh at me. They think it looks more like a house or the home plate of a baseball diamond. You can come up the scale and out into that package, stay there, and come back. So many of the songs that use it are going to slide on the 3rd string from the 2nd fret out to the 4th fret. Once there, play the 3s and 5s. I also think of this as a coat hanger. Once I'm on this 4, I can hang those 3s and 5s off of it. Then I can slide back and continue my playing back in the normal position. So in Wish You Were Here, we get the main riffs played on that super quiet acoustic guitar. Right after that lick that lands us on the E note, we can start one of these ideas. We'll slide the 2nd fret on the 3rd string to the 4th fret and go into that pyramid shape by grabbing this 3. So we get, while there, we can grab the 5th fret. Notice we even draw that triangle. 5 down to a 4, up to a 3. Then we'll do a pull-off. We haven't worked on pull-offs very much yet. In order to do them, you want to hold the 2nd fret, then the 4th fret, and you only pick one note. You pick the 4th fret note, pull that finger off the string so that you can hear the 2nd fret note, and pull that one off so you hear the open string. That's what this little legato line over them shows, that'll be a pull-off. There's your open D string, and a tiny little slide on the 5th string into the 2nd fret. So we get this riff. pause. Then the pyramid has this 4, 3, 5, 3, 5. We've got 5s on the top 2 strings and 3s. Those are called double stops when you play those together. So we'll play those 5s and the 3s. I'm using my finger and my pick in a hybrid motion to pick them both. You can strum them or use 2 fingers. To get to the 5s, we'll slide into them from 3, roughly 3, and then slide back. Right at the end you can see a double stop on the next string. It's these higher notes of the pyramid shape, the 5 and 4 of the 3rd and 2nd strings. And then we move that double stop, that's a 4th, down to the 3 and 2. I'm hitting 2 opens here, they're open Gs. That G is actually played on the 5th fret of the 4th string. I've just never bothered with it. For a beginner especially, just stay on the open. That's 1/2 of the opening melody. We'll hear this as soon as you do. We get a whole bar of the E chord when you hear the riff again. Then we start up another version of these. Slide 2 to 4, continue to hold it. Hit the 3 of the 2nd string, that 4 that you're still holding, and then the 5 on the 2nd string. Little delay, and then we release a bend off the 5. There's this quick bend on the 5, which lands us on the 3. So we get the slide, and that guy's a little delayed and very short. You get a feeling of 4E and, 3 and, 4E and, 3 and, 4E and, but that little 5 is right before it. 2 and 3 and 4E and. You end up back at the 2. So we get a bend on the 4, 3, 5, bend on the 4 again. That one's a little deeper. As we land on the 2, we hear our riff again. And we start another one. 2, 4, 3, and 5. I'm not certain I don't hear another 4 in there. It's very subtle, but I really like to put a 4, just like this 4, in here. The bend is deeper there. And then we get a last bend on the 4. That little pyramid will develop. Every note that we brought there, other than this high A, which is out of the other octave, is found back here in the open position. So we can actually move all our notes out there. When we go E, G, open A, you already know we have that A at the 5th fret. That was in Wild Thing and when we learned our 5th fret notes. Then we had B and open D, but that D is here as well. So we're getting a pattern here. 3rd, 5th, 2nd, 5th, 2nd, 5th. Now we're into the part we just learned. 2, 4, 3, 5, 3, 5. This is generally called scale position 2 or shape 2 of the pentatonic. I consider the first one, because the lowest note is the E for the E minor, I consider that the minor shape, even though it can be used in G major. The second one is just an extension. It's all the exact same notes, but because the first note in there is the G, it's considered the major scale. Just like we could play from open strings, we can play that same riff now in this second position with no opens. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy in the naming. Either this is pentatonic shape 1 and 2, or that's minor and major, even though the minor and major is totally interchangeable, just depending on which roots you're dealing with. Hopefully that helps you with that little lead line, and we'll see you guys next time.